SAVIOUR awesome.
In this video, we'll continue our research of the exclusive lore of Colossal Warfare DLC, the captivating story dropped in the special event The Broken One on Ironhide Game Studios' official Discord server. Previously, in the last episode, we saw Grimbeard was researching the dog steel for a long time. Dog steel is more durable and flexible in nature and has traits of something to be called a living metal. The pieces of it tend to restore the imprinted shape, while structures of the metal itself resembles living cell. Dog steel can absorb the organic sample and carry it with its unique properties of memory, like DNA carries genetic material. Dog steel can be imprinted with biological information. With the use of dog steel, Grimbeard created clones, utilizing the memory properties of the metal carrying his material and cultivating it with nutritious fluid. At first, the cloning venture did not go well. Grimbeard has to set up an entire factory site with a furnace to burn the failed clones. After months of failures, Grimbeard achieved success with specific combinations of nutrients, electrolytes, and electrode imprint. Grimbeard discovered that dog steel can be programmed more directly with the use of same method, electricity. This allowed him to start producing robot servants, sentries, and speedsters, which apparently were superior to traditional Darwin models. With all of this, Grimbeard soon started to think of himself as a god and decided to create a gigantic automaton to take revenge on the Darwin kingdom for his banishment. To know everything in detail, you can check out the first episode. But as we continue, the diary of Darwin Megalonomic hidden in the memory of the found robot was not the only thing that was preserved in the remaining hardware. In fact, it was almost the last thing which was revealed by Rookie, aka Hacker and Professor. Before the said diary, Hacker encountered the remaining recorded bits of memories which dissipated a story of one small, failed, yet somehow a brave robot. Decryption of the information of the hardware took 5 days. In the very beginning, on the first day of the work, the hacker, aka Rookie, started decoding the outer layer of the data. It turned out that machine had several layers of defense protecting its memory, but after some time the hacker managed to crack the code and gain access to the first segment. At first, Rookie found out that in reality, the machine was formerly a functioning robot, the one which we know as Scrap Speedster. The hacker and professor later noted that it was first time when they saw a mechanical being of such type with encryption system so sophisticated. And stranger still, this machine was protecting its data while at the same time helping in hacking. But these discoveries were only the beginning. After a bit more work, the hacker encountered the recording hidden within different data blocks featuring some unknown landscape and accompanied by strange mechanical voice.
I do not know if there will be an audience to what I am saying right now. I must have gotten a huge episodes to be someone but me who did so. But I suppose this is a great stress reliever.
Attunement and modulation, which was needed since the recording was a bit damaged. The Rookie managed to understand what was being said in it. The voice was saying that it didn't remember the days before the day when the recording was made. It was like a chaotic dream, and on that day, he woke up at last. Then there was a picture of the cliff, and the voice said it felt fear to fall down. The same fear a human has while standing in front of a great height, but it was needed for him. It didn't make sense until the following was heard in the entry.
It must have been a lightning that struck my surface, but it was that painful shock that brought me to senses.
The lightning struck the circuits, bringing the robot to senses. We remember from Grimbeard's diary in part 1 that information can be imprinted on a piece of dark steel with electric voltage of different frequency. So it seems the full lightning strike, electricity of much greater energy, billions of volts, can do the unthinkable, make a machine, the mindless mechanism running on single-looped protocol sentient, not just smarter, but fully intelligent and aware of itself and its surroundings. Then suddenly a new mind is born. It inevitably starts to ask questions. We can remember each other in childhood, and so on. The robot did the same.
Droplets of water hit my face. I stood there motionlessly, not understanding just why I was there, not understanding my place, not understanding my purpose, and my surface grew dark.
So now we have Scrap Speedster standing out from hundreds of his brethren, smart enough to question his mission and destiny in this world. In aftermath of the story, the hacker discovered the name which robot took for himself, Arcy. Subsequent analysis of the following entries gives us a glance at what happened to Arcy after awakening. He fled the ranks of Grimbeard's robot and started exploring.
I keep hiding from the patrols. I don't know for how long I can remain hidden, but so far it worked out.
Arcy was scouting around Darksteel Mountains and noted that there was a constant noise of chaos or ceaseless labor, and many beings have been wandering here and there, carrying different building materials while others carrying weapons, hammers, shields, axes, or driving different driving machines, consuming as fuel everything in the way. But there's something else above it all which caught Arcy's attention.
It wasn't that. They had all the same face. After the farthest identical creature I encountered for my scouting, I began to wonder if my system has crashed again. But it did not.
The fact all creatures were almost the same was bewildering even to a mechanical mind. Arcy felt that his face, which was always in the same mood of grinning, etched itself deeply into memory banks, and thinking of reasons behind it made robot circuits grow darker. The speedster was determined to find out the true nature behind his lacking memory and the growing feeling of discomfort and emptiness when he was trying to think about it. Arcy retreated to the corn forest on the slope of the mountains. While it was seemingly a summer period, there were bush thickets where the rebellious machine could hide from patrols of Grimbeard. There was clearly a period of hiding when Arcy either did not make any recordings or these recordings were lost during this time in the sea. But one recording remained which was definitely worthy of attention.
A triumph of life came across my path today, hidden between the hostile grounds.
Arcy encountered a bird which was making a nest in the untouched part of mountains, and it started singing. The robot did not know how to designate these noises, but marked the peacefulness and innocence of them was something he never felt about himself. Something of it touched his very core. But then, truly saddening event unfolded.
And just when I thought sure reached the best note, a loud shook the entire grove, and the beautiful singer fell from its grand pedestal. voice forever silenced.
Entry indicates that his former comrades or even brothers, as Arcy described other machines of Grimbeard's army invented. One of them was seemingly a rolling sentry, and it shot the foe down with a single barrage of its weapon. Arcy could not understand how could his comrade take life so easily. Afterwards, he wonders about his purpose again.
Don't believe me. But I too was created to be such a mindless machine. One to sow chaos and death to all that walks and sees.
It can be deduced that Robot could not bear thinking of it long, but he decided to move further in his investigation. In the entry number 4, which was decrypted by Hacker and Professor Heckbeard on the corresponding day, it is stated that Arcy encountered Grimbeard himself and moreover saw what Dorf was creating.
After hiding so much in the thick forest, I got brave enough to go elsewhere, to a space more open. It was there that I witnessed the true reason for my existence. A single person, standing out from so many thinner ones, rolls his arms triumphantly, his mouth emitting a menacing, many-a-written stutter.
Arcy witnessed the Darwin mastermind and a colossus which he was creating, and simultaneously the robot acknowledged Grimbeard as his father.
The great colossus of steel. I've knows that face anywhere, for it greatly resembles a person, supposedly a mastermind, and my father.
Arcy quickly understood that if he was a machine created to kill, this automaton was created to bring the ultimate hell and destruction to whatever and whoever it marched to. And this seemingly made him to confront Grimbeard. At this point, Rookie and the Professor were near the end of the story of Arcy. The hacker managed to reach and decode the 4th layer of protection and was near to the final ones, but the deeper in the ocean you go, the stronger the pressure. As Rookie advanced deeper into the hardware, the codes and riddles were getting more and more complex, and moreover, they started to have different patterns and execution, as if there was specific riddler for each type of obstacle. In total, the codes and riddles were divided by 4 groups. General, marked with red memory. Mathematical, numerical codes and riddles, marked with orange in the memory. Writing. Text riddles and codes as if torn out from almanac, marked with yellow. Story, strange tales of containing parts of needed code, marked with purple. Clearly, digital mind was damaged and twisted with drifting in the sea. Turns out the hardware defects, in addition to the loneliness made by Robot's personality, split into 4 aspects: the broken, the mathematician, the scribe, and the story master. These 4 were interacting with one another without any control, turning every defense mechanism in the robot's databank into a riddle for no real reason. After the hacker managed to crack through level 4 of memory banks, each of these split personalities switched into the active mode, launching into the inner dialogue about successes of hacker, and it was there, the 5th, previously unseen persona revealed itself as 4th seal was broken. It first shared a cryptic binary novel about an ability to resist one's nature, and then acknowledged the hacker and began communicating with him in real time, threatening to make his final part of hacking harder. On the day 5, Professor Hackbeard delayed a meeting with his apprentice, and then total insanity began. Robot's mind took over all manipulators and mechanical tools in the lab and tried to hold the professor hostage to prevent him reaching his apprentice with decoding riddle for gaining access to level 5 of memory block. When the professor managed to escape and a hacker came to lab and disabled the uncontrollable manipulators, the two started their rush to the core of the robot's mind. It was immediately apparent how wrong things were as the interface changed drastically, getting darker and creepier, with riddles becoming borderline surreal. But even after the hacker broke through, the robot was not going to give up. With no more riddles to stall, Digital Mind refused to go down without a fight. Robot offered the rookie to play a computer game with him, facing the hacker in digital world. When the simple coded monster was repelled, the robot's mind showed itself in person. Robot announced that he gathered all information from databases and the internet. Yeah, it seems like English has a type of internet. To become the most unbeatable digital enemy, and henceforth he proclaimed himself as the digital god. The hacker took the challenge, and the battle was hard. The memory and pieces of self-awareness of the robot were flooding the screen and turning into different attacks and defenses. Yet, despite the digital god using the trickiest moves, after a few attempts, the hacker managed to develop a tactic and outplay the robotic mind in its own game. Yet again, the self-proclaimed god refused to give in. He invoked his other personalities to outplay the hacker. Mathematician, scribe, story master all woke up at once to have a rematch. Each of the suspects was using different types of moves to repel this hacker. Yet again, all three of them failed. With all of the personalities and aspects of mind beaten, the digital god was seemingly defeated, but the fifth part of the broken robot remained, unveiled by hackers' efforts, his original program, buried underneath sentience and melancholy. Pure rage and willingness to kill gained control. In this fight, Digital God managed to repel hacker for a while and destroyed one computer with something called the Mega Bomb. But Rookie was not going to turn back as well. In the end, this final phase of Digital God was beaten and revealed the final and the most prized part of his memory. Before final revelation, the digital mind asked to stop his father. With no more barriers, no codes, hacker finally got to the last bit of memory and managed to get all the answers. Outcome of RKC's story was harsh and could be called brutal. He indeed stood up for his father. He managed to sneak into the labs and manufacturing sites and download the Grimbeard's diary, which we were reading in the first part. It was RKC who copied all other useful data, including the coordinates and schemes of the main plans and setups of Darwin Madman's base. Everything that could be needed to perform a successful attack on the Darksteel Mountains and disrupt his evil plans was gathered by his hand. But such a bold move inevitably led to the mistake which cost RKC a lot, as we can understand from the last recording.
So they found me. They beat me up.
Grimbeard soldiers, clones, found out RKC and intended to destroy him. Despite the sustained damage, Robot managed to stay intact and even crawl to the cliffs and flee toward his destructive creator, keeping him going. It was here that he made it final decision.
I shall not let this man achieve what he so desires. I shall not let the monster bring death to those he sees as failures. No, no.
And so, there he was, back to the start, where he was on the day of awakening, at the cliff by the sea, a roaring water beneath it. He was beaten, tarnished, broken.
If you are hearing this, go and stop this man before he brings you any harm, before any more beautiful singers get shot down from their trees.
He thought of himself as a failure, yet he knew what had to be done.
A failure am I, Father, maybe to you, but I have found my true purpose.
Quoting this, hoping that Darksteel would be sturdy enough to contain his hardware and that the hand of the sea would carry him to the right place, Brave Robot took a move to his destiny, emitting a broken laugh from the opportunity to defy his creator one last time.
I see the light and take a great leap for the mankind.
The final recording ends with a viewpoint from underwater. Arcy threw himself into the sea, and this is why his remains ended up at the hands of fishermen and subsequently reached Professor Hackbeard. When the hacker told his mentor about everything he found in Arcy's databank, Hackbeard immediately rushed to Alliance HQ, hoping to get there soon. It was this robot deed the reason why Alliance sent scouts to Darksteel Mountains and managed to react so swiftly to the menace of grimbeards and subsequently stopped him. Sometimes even the least of us can do the biggest things, isn't it? Knowing that the critical message was successfully delivered, all the robot's personalities calmed down. In a goodbye monologue, Robot thanked the hacker for his efforts and told the latter his name, Arcy. Wishing the greatest things from the depths of his core in a not-before-seen blue color, Digital Mind felt silent, having become one with the Hackbeard's devices, finally at peace. So this was it, my friends. This was the full lore of the Broken One series. This took a lot of effort from the entire team, and I am really happy to make this project come true. This is such a great depth lore which we haven't seen in a long time in Kingdom Rush universe. I would consider probably, I think this is what makes the Colossal Warfare DLC one of the best ones from the lore perspective. We have that Brave Robot as a new character, and Kingdom Rush universe as a Wi-Fi. So yeah, tell me what you think about that lore. Will we ever see Arcy in future projects? Consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.